All right, shalom, shalom, boys here. Welcome to the covenant. Well, what I wanted to talk about in this video was, the hurricanes, the tornadoes, and the insurance premiums that are going up. Now, I understand that people that have a mortgage on their homes, or it may even be paid off, but the majority of times people have mortgage on their homes. And so, therefore, they need insurance on their homes because a mortgage company is not going to issue a mortgage or loan to an applicant without that property or that land or that home being insured, specifically the home. Uh, we see the insurance premiums going up. We see the property values or the assessments on the property values, the insurance going up. We see these things taking place, and this is why we always advocate, or people like myself advocate, that if you're going to purchase a home or if you're going to purchase some land, you want to purchase it straight out. Because let's think about the worst case scenario. I don't live too far from a town where a hurricane came through several years ago and completely destroyed brick homes, buildings. It destroyed the courthouse. It destroyed the municipal building. It destroyed banks. Now, I'm talking about these are old brick buildings. It destroyed the postal service. And I can't drive no more than 5 minutes up the road where, we experience in this town complete destruction. Uh, very, very, it made national and international news. Resources came in from all over the world, literally, to help out this small town. But uh, you got to understand that, in spite of uh, everything that is going on weather-wise, uh, if you have insurance or not, uh, these are things that you have to take into consideration because out here they don't uh, issue insurance policies for tiny homes. They don't issue insurance policies for double wide, single wide, especially uh, even homes. They don't issue insurance policies, or the premiums would be very high if you had a wood burning stove in your facility. I know that there are policies that will even cover for modular homes, double wides, things of that nature. But it's going to be at a significant premium. Uh, and definitely, I don't know any that's going to insure a structure on a piece of land that has a wood burning stove in it or fireplace unless it meets all its strict requirements. Now, I've installed about 7 wood stoves in my lifetime, and a lot of people, they probably installed one or moved one, but I've installed 7. But I know that, the insurance companies are not going to uh, insure a property, that has these kinds of tools in them. So you got to understand something. In spite of weather, in spite of storms, hurricanes, tornadoes, God forbid if it did happen, the one thing that a hurricane can't wipe away, or a tornado, I would say, because we don't experience hurricanes out here, we experience tornadoes. It can't take away the land. At the end of the day, it cannot remove the actual physical land. I mean, I don't know of any tornadoes that remove the land. They usually remove the stuff that's on the land, the infrastructure on the land. But as long as you can pitch a tent on your land, as long as you can set up some solar, one of the things that was very interesting about Passover was how I set up, our facilities, and I set it up with a toilet, a composting toilet in a small enclosure. I had a hot water system which supplied water to an enclosed shower that I purchased and bought and were using. Also, a sink that we used, as well as a solar generator that powered the little refrigerator that we had, and we had a tent. We had tents, and we had propane. We had a Blackstone grill, and we had a smoker slash a griddle for the Blackstone, and a smoker slash grill. Uh, uh, a pit boss. We had solar. We had lights. We had all of these things because the interesting thing about this setup is that we were able to experience it so that in event something could happen, what I mean, it happens, and we're self-insured, that we can still live on the land and have a shower, have hot water, have be able to cook for a relatively decent price. And a couple of $1,000 if we had to purchase and set that all up. But at least we had the land, and at least we have the ability to get the materials necessary as well as real skills. To go out there and get the basic materials necessary to start to build again. Now, I wouldn't hope against my worst enemy that level of destruction and homelessness. But it does happen. It does happen, and we saw it happen. I saw it happen 5 minutes up the road, literally 5 minutes up the road. The tornado, the Category 5 or 6 or whatever tornado that wiped out this small town up there. I mean, it was devastating. It was amazing to drive downtown and see nothing, and remember everything. And remember everything. It's an experience that very few people uh, can visually stomach, to see businesses, homes, government all wiped away, all wiped away. And I'll never forget that time. Uh, I got my trailer. I stopped in the middle of a project that I was working on, a large project I was working on, and I got my 16-foot trailer, and I got my chainsaw, and I went to work because a lot of trees were down, and a lot of people needed to get in and out of their homes, get in and out of the streets, get in and out of their businesses. And so it was a blessing to be able to be available to do that for the community. Uh, you got to think about insurance. You got to think about the lack of insurance. How can you live? How can you produce the things that you need in spite of these things? But it's a blessing to be able to make sure that in spite of what's going on, in terms of these tornadoes, in terms of these things, and when you're self-insured, because a lot of people, they can't access the insurance because it doesn't cover these situations. People think that just because they have homeowners insurance, that it covers the homeowner of tornadoes or hurricanes, unless it's explicitly talked about and defined in that insurance policy is not covered. And that's what a lot of people in Hurricane Katrina experienced. They experienced that even though they had homeowners insurance, it did not cover floods. It didn't cover levees breaching. It didn't cover these things that the insurance companies turned around and said, we're not paying. So, I mean, it's important to understand these things, and as well to make sure that, at least at the bare minimum, your land is paid for. Because again, uh, you know, unless you living near the shore or whatever, even in a tornado or a hurricane, I never heard of it tearing away land. Um, sure, has it happened? But I haven't heard of a leaf a tornado just tearing away the ground. It tears away the structure on the ground, but it didn't tear away the ground itself. There may be some erosion of things of that nature, but um, you can always set up camp on your land and get the necessary materials to maintain your family as you build. And this is why it's so important to have real skills that you can go out there in situations like that, because not only was there a calamity, for the lack of better terms, it was an opportunity of people that needed framing work, sheetrock work done, molding, subfloor work, roofing work, plumbing work, electrical work, appliance work. All of this stuff, they needed things to people to do. And this is why it's so important for real skills. So, in the worst case scenario, you can A, have your land paid for, B, be able to provide a service to the community, thereby generating the revenues necessary to build what you have. You getting it? You getting it? Because a lot of people out there, the people that, recently in St. Louis, they got hit with a hurricane, or no, sorry, tornado, and their houses were destroyed. And there is no insurance policy that covered the vast majority of these people with these destroyed properties, and they're looking to get bought out and everything, and they're homeless. And where you gonna go? I mean, somebody pays you or offers you, um, $200,000 for a home that was destroyed and was 400,000, and you had a mortgage on that bad boy. So even if you do, did you add equity in it? So in spite of all of that, you know what I'm saying, you still can come out as a loss. And where you gonna move in? See, people don't think about these things because they never think that it can happen to them. But what I say, for the most part, for the people that, if because it can happen to anybody, at least you put your situation in, put yourself in a situation as to where you at least can set up a tent, get paid, and provide for your family. It is what it is.